Hello,
set
everyone.
it up that way.
Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Yeah,
This
welcome
week,
everybody.
Brought to you by Nerdificent, Bespoke Post, and Hymns. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
Where's the thing?
You gotta say your
Where's
name.
The things? There was no
They
thing.
literally came out and told us they weren't going to have him this week.
Oh, they did?
They literally came out. He stood right there, and he said, "We're not going to have the box graphics."
You're mad
and I
today.
said, "Fine."
Gus, you're mad today.
I'm a little. Boo.
You said
Hey
you were mad
guys!
earlier.
I want to report
I said
that
I'm not
Gus
mad.
didn't fill me in on the
I said I
box
wasn't
not
mad.
being there thing, so I think he's responsible.
So wait, Gus, are you mad or are you not mad?
I'm not mad. I'm a little high strung.
Okay.
Why?
We got a lot going on today.
It's been a long day. There's a lot happening.
Oh, what happened? Did you have a bad thing?
No, I've just been filming all day. I've had a lot of stuff going on.
Why are you so bright? You pasty? Why am I so bright?
We're brighter today.
This is the monitor. They always tell me it's the monitors.
Oh,
I
is
always
it?
look on mine. I
All right.
always feel like I'm washed out and red somehow. So this is I pulled my laptop out and I've got it backwards.
You broke it.
This is my favorite thing about this laptop. use
I
it
was
all the time.
confused because I looked at your screen and it was just the back of your monitor.
Is that so other people could see what you're typing and you
No,
can't?
so I can like go smush and put it in tablet mode, and then I can use it like that. So you flip it around, but it has this cool like mag lock. You like the sound? Gavin.
All right, do it by the mic.
It's been a trend on Reddit, by the way, of cool sounds.
Oh, yeah.
They just put up a World War II air raid siren warming up.
It's cool now. 70 years ago, I don't want to hear that. Not so cool back then.
Dude, I didn't know this. So Flint, Michigan, which is having all the problems with their water.
Are they?
How would that
Still.
sound cool?
Still,
It's really cool.
I have relatives in Flint, specifically in Grand Blanc, Michigan. I didn't fucking know this, but their weather sirens are old air raid sirens. They sound exactly like that.
What kind of weather sirens do they, like, what do they have weather sirens for?
I don't know. But all I know is they were using them one morning, testing them. And I fucking woke up to air raid sirens. It's the 80s, but I assumed nuclear bombs were coming.
Right.
Is this like the equivalent of listening to the radio in your car and hearing sirens and honks and brake screeches
That should be
on
illegal.
the radio?
Should be illegal.
I don't understand how people are allowed to do that.
Or police sirens, and you start looking around, like,
Yeah.
where are they?
Yeah,
Well, at
police
least it's
sirens.
making
That's
you
worse.
Yeah.
Making you aware.
So we have a lot.
Once again, the person who doesn't drive.
We have,
fine with
we have a lot of stuff to get through
Point that out.
on this podcast. I want to get through one of them right away.
I fixed my laptop.
Thank
Just
you.
so we know.
We were all.
I'm just wrapping
super
things up
anxious
for you
to know.
guys. Tying up loose ends for you.
Thank you.
This is episode 498 of the podcast. So 500 by the math, I think, is 2 weeks away. And we're going to do.
Wait, hold on. Gavin?
You want to double check that?
Yes.
Is that okay? So that's July 9th.
Carry
And we're going to have a live event July 9th for RTP 500. If
You can't come, but we're going to
If-
have a live event. We're
if
just
you
going to get
live
together and talk. for
in
an
the
hour and a
Austin
half.
area, or you are going to be in the Austin area around then, you can visit that bit.ly link right there. And you can buy tickets. So this is the actual announcement. If you're watching this live, we haven't posted this anywhere. This is your opportunity to go buy a ticket now
Do it.
before anybody else knows.
the
If you're a
audio
first member,
podcast,
thank you for watching live.
bit.ly.
This is your chance to go.
So should we just
Slash-
talk about nothing for the next 2 minutes?
Now listen.
Should we not read it out for the audio podcast?
But they're not. bit.ly/ capital R, capital T, capital P 500.
You're welcome.
It's Casper.com/teeth.
We
address.
we had to charge a little bit of money just to make sure people show up and don't just
What
get
are
a
we
ticket.
charging?
So we're charging 500 pennies for 500 episodes.
Oh, so $5?
No, 500 pennies. We're
Okay.
very exact about this.
In a jar.
You have to send us 500 pennies.
Why didn't we charge $500? Because that would have been better. So listen, if it's $5, here's what I would ask of people, our beloved first members who are all over this wonderful planet. Don't buy a ticket if you know you're not going to come.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who just will sometimes buy it to get the receipt and like it's a fun memento. But we won't send you anything. But
What
please
if
don't
one,
do that.
what
Don't
if
do it.
one person bought all of them?
Gavin, let's erase this part of the podcast. Wouldn't it be great if we did a podcast and it's one dude? That would
We
actually
did
be
that.
It's kind of funny.
That would be pretty funny.
We've done that
clapping.
before.
Who do we do a podcast for one dude?
When we went to LA that one time.
Oh, yeah, that horrible festival that you took us to.
Oh, yeah. No, there were two. Weren't
Oh,
there?
sorry. There was the other bloke.
Normally, I would never badmouth an event, but we're far enough away from it that I don't even remember what it was. It was a podcast
Wasn't
festival.
it like some network event?
Yeah. No, it was a podcast festival in a hotel in Hollywood.
Wasn't it like for podcasts for podcasters?
Yeah, it was a
I was
podcast
doing the
thing.
vlog at that point in time because we vlogged us going to lunch. Ellie, were you there for it?
She's
Were
got,
you there
She's got something else.
When we had
too.
the horrible Rooster Teeth podcast with like 4 people in the audience? Yes. Yeah. Ellie
I'm
was
sorry.
there. So we had 3 people because we had
So I had kind of a throwaway thing that I said last week. Was it
I
last
wish.
week? Where I said that I thought it would be interesting to eat an ostrich egg.
Is
See,
there
this
like
is the problem.
24
So
eggs?
only you should have to eat the
Right.
ostrich egg.
This is the problem with this podcast. People say things. Why are we constantly saying things on the podcast?
So, Gus, we brought you a nice, delicious ostrich egg, freshly prepared.
Oh my god. Oh, why is an enormous egg so gross?
And in Texas, you know, we like to serve it with pico de gallo and tortillas.
It's
so.
heavy.
Ugh.
Watch out. Where's the camera? Oh, it's up there.
It looks like an
my
egg threw
God.
up.
That's one egg. That is one egg.
Why is there so much pepper on it?
I learned one ostrich egg is about 24 regular eggs.
Did you taste test this before?
I just had a little bite.
How was it?
It's a very rich, dense egg.
This is Patrick Pope, everybody, by the way. Patrick Pope with the lab.
Nice to meet you.
Now let's talk about the lab.
Not the lab.
So bon appetit, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
Cool. Enjoy, guys.
Can you bring
So-
any pieces of the? Do we have any big?
Can we
pieces
get
of the?
the?
shell?
Isn't there another one? Like, yeah. Oh, my throat's making
Could
noises
you
already.
crack an ostrich egg into your mouth and suck it down?
Stop it. Wait till you feel this thing. We made the mistake of like handling the actual egg earlier in the day,
You have salmonella?
and the shell can't be broken. Like you can't even crack it on the side of a table. You've got to use an
Bullshit.
instrument to do it.
Bullshit.
Anybody else want to try? Anybody else want to try some
Gus,
eggs?
why don't you go
Ostriches
ahead?
I'll try some.
Why are you so grossed out? When are you ever going to get a chance to eat a fucking ostrich egg?
I don't care about eating an ostrich egg. I have
when you're
regular
old,
eggs.
when you're old and gross like me, you're just chasing new experiences.
Okay.
You've seen enough of the world. You're like, yeah, give me some fucked up stuff.
I'll
to
wait
eat.
another 35 years.
Have you
and
ever
see
had
how I
ostrich
feel.
before?
That's the shell. So that's the shell.
Oh
I
shit!
think
It looks fake.
Should we play catch the egg?
This is the egg. Please be careful.
Ooh.
Well,
Now
I
do
mean,
this.
it takes a hammer to open
Now
it,
do
so
this,
I think
Gavin.
it's fine.
Watch what I do. Do you mimic this action that I'm about to do? Take the. I can't do it
Well, no.
actually because it's gonna
Flip
drain.
it upside down.
Just slowly turn it over. Like.
Oh, it's like grippy on the inside. It's like
Yep. It like sticks to the side of it.
It's good. It's just,
How much?
Go along.
No, stop it. Don't throw
no,
that egg
play
at me.
throw the egg.
It's just like
I'm not gonna throw. Don't throw that fucking.
just an
You
egg.
don't want to catch the egg?
Okay, here. Well, Barbara, hold this.
Oh,
All right,
God.
yeah.
No, God,
If
please.
you fucking wing this at me,
Okay.
do a real throw, not a British throw.
Did someone say don't throw it? 3
Hey.
points.
Oh, got it.
That was
It's
wicked.
coming back.
Oh. If that,
Okay, that's enough of that.
Let me hang on to that for you.
Yeah.
go long at least.
Eric spent
good. It's good.
$1,000.
You should try it.
All right, I'll give it a shot. What is that? What these little tins are for?
Yeah.
Sounds like
So put some slop in a tin for me.
it sounds like a what's that? Like glass almost.
It's hollow like the moon.
It's
There you go.
this is bigger than a stomach, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on the stomach.
You
I
can
guess.
fill your entire stomach with egg.
Oh
Oh, dude! Imagine, okay, how about this? If you swallowed an entire liquid ostrich egg and then got in a hot tub, would you throw it up as like one ball of cooked egg?
Oh, you'd be like a poached egg. You'd be
Yeah.
the poaching thing. Yeah.
That'd be wicked.
Gus, please don't ever say you want to eat other disgusting things on the podcast ever again.
It's not
Is,
disgusting.
is that a clean? Is that a clean fork?
Yeah.
But would you
It's
eat?
literally just an egg.
Yeah, but like, does a duck egg or a goat egg? Not goat egg.
Goat egg. I'm gonna have a goat egg next. All right, here we go.
I want a goat egg now. Eric, find me a fucking goat egg. It's good.
I was thinking about stuff instead.
That is not bad, Patrick. My compliments.
How many
That
different
was
types of eggs
excellent.
are there in the
It's
world?
really good, I
Have you
think.
sucked one of these forks?
What? Have I sucked a fork?
No,
Is
I got
one
no
of these
complaints.
in your
Give me
mouth?
some of that.
They're-
no,
they're
no,
all-
no.
they're all
I'm in.
clean.
Those are
I'm in
clean.
now.
You want this?
So here's the problem that we have today. Today we had Monday meeting.
It tastes like pepper.
I don't know who for Monday. We call it Monday meeting, but now it's all hands meeting. It's not actually every Monday, but it falls on Mondays. So we still sometimes call it Monday meeting.
So good.
Rooster Teeth every Monday will get lunch for everybody at the company. Which, by the way, what the fuck is going on? At today's all hands meeting, we had our new employees stand up. We have 45 new employees today.
What? I was filming, so I missed it.
45 new employees stood up.
Well, that's since the last all hands.
Far too
There's
many.
still 45 new employees. They stood up and said hello.
From day one, 2003, it took us 8 years to get to 45
I
employees.
asked for an official head count today. We're at 380 as a
That's a
company.
lot of people.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Anyway, so we did that today, but we got food for all those people. And I guess because it's so many people, we can't actually get good food. So we got chili dogs today.
They're all right.
We're like the
Well,
Spirit
I mean, they're good,
Airlines
but they're
of
not good for you. Is what I'm
lunches.
saying.
Oh,
No,
okay.
this egg's actually pretty good.
That's
really
what I'm
good.
saying.
It's a seasoning.
But I think it's the seasoning.
Yeah, it is.
I think
Patrick-
they cooked it very well, seasoned it very, very deliciously.
I really want to crack that other egg open.
Do it.
No.
Yeah. Is it cruel to do it? Are you going to keep it on your desk or something, Eric? What are you going to do with it?
I don't think we talked about how thick the shell is.
Could you punch that?
Well, it's not just the shell, Gus. It's that inner membrane.
That membrane.
Like when you crack an egg, a chicken egg, it does have that tiny little membrane on the inside. This one, you actually have to work at it to puncture
You have
that
to,
membrane.
I think, hit it with a hammer.
I think some people hit it with a
hammer.
hammer. I think Patrick used the back end of a knife.
Do you think
and
you
just,
could
like,
crack
kept
it?
hitting
But that took the shell off, and then the membrane was separate.
Right,
That
yeah,
was a
when
separate opening.
I could hear him cracking it when I was sitting here before we started the podcast, and I walked over and he was taking the shell off, and the membrane was still intact, and it looks like the movie Aliens, like where the facehuggers
Yeah.
come out.
We should deshell the egg entirely and just hold the membrane.
I mean, to me, it looks like a dinosaur egg.
yeah, it looks like a dinosaur
The
egg.
weirdest
Yeah.
thing to me was the texture on the egg. Like when you think about chicken eggs, how they're smooth.
Can I headbutt that and crack it?
No.
You know what? I gotta say that like if Marcus made that, we would tell him it doesn't look realistic,
Try
right?
and break that with your head.
You're gonna get
Like it looks
fucking
like
shards of
it looks like this
eggshell
came
in your
off
head.
a 3D printer. You want me to,
Yeah, try and
butt it
nut-
with my head?
Nut the egg
I'm
open.
gonna get my hair cut,
Dude,
by the way.
but put it on your head. You're gonna hurt your head.
I'm gonna get my head, right? Wait, I'll do it. I got a hard head, Barb.
Yeah. Fronts of heads are hard.
Oh,
You guys are so fucking dumb.
I rattled my teeth.
You cracked it though.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I know. Cracked my head. That's my skull making that noise.
All right, you try, Barbara.
No. I like my head.
So
I like my brain.
So we got
intact.
chili dogs
okay,
today.
chili dogs.
It's so much stuff today. We got chili dogs for lunch.
We're chili dogging.
Then every Monday, Gus is so gracious and uses part of the budget to buy everyone dinner. Is it?
It's not me. It's,
Should I give Gus credit for that? Who gets credit for
it's
that?
Patrick or someone else.
Well, then how come you affect the pizza choice that we get?
I keep. How many times do we have to have this fucking conversation?
Nobody else likes that pizza. We've established this 1,000 times. So today we got fried chicken
I know
sandwiches
you
from a
don't
really
order
good
it.
local place that we love. So then there's these chili dogs, fried chicken sandwiches. Then we find out we're getting this gigantic ostrich egg because Gus can't keep his fucking mouth shut. And then on top of
Does
that,
anybody else want ostrich egg?
Anybody want to try?
we already
really
had a
good.
plan, which you probably have noticed from earlier, but we already had a plan today that today, Gus, you're off stage for this huge announcement. Today
Wait, we've got.
is podcast Sunday, Monday. So we're doing Sundays today. The grand tradition of food podcast.
And is this every year now on this day?
It's got to be.
On this
It'll
week?
be the first podcast after summer starts.
And then to top this off, after this, we're going out to dinner to celebrate Gavin's 30th birthday because he hasn't
Hey.
been around for a while. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, by the way, Gavin.
Thanks. It was a
So-
month ago.
I'm gonna die. We're gonna go into like a coma after eating all this food.
Why don't we hit up some barbecue on the way home?
Let's bring the other ostrich egg to the restaurant and say, what can you do with this? Can you fake an Australian accent? We'll say you're from Australia and you.
I'll figure it out, yeah.
Ostriches don't live in Australia.
Oh, that's right. I always say that. I got that in my head when I was a kid.
Like he has to be Australian. To
No,
say
I got
this.
that in my head when I was a kid that ostriches are from Australia, and I actually learned that on the podcast. They're
Australia?
Australians. Yeah, I'm wrong. Sorry, they're from Africa.
But you should
right?
still pretend to be
believe
from
so.
Australia.
They're from New
'cause
Jersey.
Why not?
All right.
Sure, why not?
More
'Cause Australia's
importantly,
weird.
let's get to some ice cream. Wait,
also
where's Gavin?
Australian accent would be way less racist.
Oh my god! I said
Holy
it and they just
shit.
like, came out with it.
Wow.
See, you say stuff, we do it.
Thanks.
Oh my
Holy
god,
cow.
this I like. This
Do
suggestion.
you say Mexican? I find that very racist.
Handed it right to you. So what we got?
Mex.
Mex.
Is it all like Mexican vanilla?
I assume this is
and-
Mexican vanilla, Belgian chocolate,
Oh, Belge.
and Oreo.
Belge me. Oh. Thank you.
I guess all of these are mine.
You know we're only 4 people, right?
Oh, because it's Mexican vanilla. So we got Mexican vanilla. What else?
Belgian chocolate and Oreo.
So we can triple up on our flavors?
Yeah, buddy.
Do we have to separate the larger Mexican ones from the smaller Mexican ones? Is that the way that works? Do you want to talk about that?
That's a pretty good one.
It's too soon to make jokes about that. It's unfucking believable, dude.
You got to talk about it.
Listen, did we talk about it? Did you guys talk about it last week, or
No.
Has it not happened since last week?
No, I think it happened since then.
What a fucking nightmare to live through, right? Can
Yeah.
you imagine that?
Being separated. It's I mean, I can't even understand what that's like. What that's like to experience.
Which they've since rescinded the order, but that doesn't mean that anyone's been reunited in any way. In fact,
Yeah,
I was hearing today that
They said they have a plan to do it. They just don't know the timeline or how they're going to do it.
We're talking-
you don't have a fucking plan then. Those are the two things that matter.
we're talking, of course, about down at the border. Unfortunately,
Was that not-
are all the camps in Texas?
I
Gus?
believe so.
Yeah. We actually, when we were going to last week, when I was going to VidCon, there was actually talk about us going down there because we were all just so fed up with this. And
What,
we were
just
gonna
like
get in
pulling the
car.
walls down?
Yeah, me and Jeff and Matt and Gus were all just going to get in the car and go down there and just start filming stuff because we didn't know what else to do. And as we were working through that, I was about to cancel my trip to VidCon. I don't think I've ever canceled an event appearance ever.
Well, especially because of political going on.
No, I've just never done it, not even for being sick or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to
made-
work through the language of how I was going to do that. But then Trump signed this order to rescind the order that didn't exist.
He had no power to fix this. He had no power to address this issue until
he
he
did.
signed an executive order that undid it.
I don't even-
It undid it in a shitty way.
But it's not.
It leaves the door open for further abuse down the road.
And I'm going to sound like typical liberal overthinking things, but I almost don't want to use Trump's name in it because I feel like this should be an issue that transcends any kind of polar politics.
Yeah.
Like if kids are being separated from their family members, everyone should be concerned about that.
Right.
Didn't he-
Everyone should be able to drop any pretense of this side or that side, and this just needs to be fixed.
Well, wasn't it also that there was like some event that was held where they had victims of people who were murdered by illegal immigrants come speak? That was something that they had recently.
And then, yeah, they did.
But where's the event where they have people who were killed by white people, school shooters, or whatever it is, come speak?
Oh, right.
It's just like a clear demonstration of racism.
Yeah, well, the Huckabee put out a
Just
tweet that was
cherry
horrible.
picking what it is that you want to be outraged about.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on the border, for years. My family comes from Mexico. So I think it's weird to me to see that. Like, I spent so long growing up on the border, and it was something that at the time it was an issue. People talked about it, but we never reached the point where we were like, let's start separating people from each other, start separating children from their parents. It was like, at least they're still people. You want to treat them humanely.
Yeah, but then they're treating them like
A human
fucking
issue
criminals and
transcends.
animals.
Right, and then I saw people's counter arguments were these migrant children are being treated better than our own American children. It's like, well, the takeaway for me then is we should be treating our own citizens better.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird thing to say, and what a weird defense to try to take in the whole situation.
There was some quote I saw, and I'm probably going to say it incorrectly, but it was like, no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for
so-
anybody, whatever they're fleeing is so much worse.
Yeah.
So much worse, which is hard to believe because everyone is like seeing the situation that they're in down there, and it's terrible. And I agree with you, Gus. It's like people will sometimes say, well, what about this? It's like, yeah, that's bad too. Let's fix that. Let's go. And when initially, I remember there was a talk about this authority already existed. Like this was a policy that was in place with previous administrations. And specifically, it was people were coming back and saying, well, this was the Obama administration had the same policy. It wasn't enforced, it turns out, but people were saying that to me. And I just came back with, okay, great, let's impeach Obama too. I don't care. It's like, why do you think if you say the word Obama to me, I'm going to go like, oh, was? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Then
still
fine.
wrong
It's
in the
still
end.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's still wrong. It transcends that. I don't care. It's like I don't sit around thinking about Obama all day and it's like I gotta figure out a way to protect his legacy. What I gotta figure out is a way to protect these little kids who are getting yanked away from their parents. And yeah, if they're coming here and those aren't their parents, that's something else we can fix. I mean, those are still human beings coming in here.
Right. It's like we have this luxury of being in the United States. We have a luxury of enjoying a very high standard of living compared to the rest of the world. Let's take care of people who are less fortunate than us.
Right.
I think even
Instead of treating them like monsters.
even people in our own country, like going back to the thing those people were saying, like, let's take care of people who need our help, people who are fleeing violence or some kind of persecution in their own country. God, we have enough persecution in our own fucking country these days, but let's just be good neighbors. How about that?
Also, it's like, there's been a couple of things that have been coming down the pipeline for a really long time. Like climate change is something that people have been talking about for a very long time. And it was kind of like, oh, well, you don't see any evidence of it, so it's not, it doesn't affect me, my daily life, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not worried about it. But over time, it's like, oh yeah, we're starting to have serious problems because of climate change, and we should have done something about it sooner. I do think we're headed down, and this is not to change the subject, but we're heading down a pathway where the concept of what is work is going to change. I think it's definitely going to change in my kid's lifetime. With the amount of computer automation that we have. I mean, if you even look, I just got back from VidCon. If you look at all the issues that we're having with these mass scale systems and the way the computers are, the algorithm that you always talk about on YouTube, the way that's doling out information, processing advertisements, everything, that causes huge problems. We're having these huge bumps in the road. And eventually it's going to get into like people just aren't going to have these jobs. You know, these less and less jobs are going to exist. Somebody on Twitter sent me this thing of a video where someone had like one of these fakes where they used my voice, but it was a computer generated thing that was me saying something. And it's just like, yeah, I can just, but it looked like live action.
Like a deep fake.
It was a deep fake is what it was. But it was computer generated. I was like, holy cow, that's horrifying. But the fact that a computer can make that is really fascinating. You know, it's a marvel, and that's going to change so much stuff.
Terrifying.
Yeah, like autonomous cars are going to wipe out transportation. You know, everyone who drives a truck, drives a car professionally. We can see where that's about to go away. It's about to go away.
Have you played Detroit?
No, I haven't, but I watched
like
Ashley play it.
Very similar, and you'll sometimes pick up a newspaper in the game and read future headlines, and it's terrifyingly scary. It's totally relatable to now.
Is it a good game? Should I play it?
I'm not very far into it. It's fun. It's like a story game.
It's very story driven. If you want like interactive narrative, it doesn't take that long to finish. I think I probably finished it in 12, 15 hours, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Bishop from Aliens is in it.
So is Clancy Brown's in it, right? I think he played the guard in Shawshank Redemption. It's a guy.
He's in. Yeah.
If you saw him, you would recognize him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But
I don't remember his name, but he popped up a screen. Like, oh, that's that guy.
But this issue of I think this what the point I was trying to make with this is like as we come back around, this issue of who gets benefits from what. Eventually, I think like even Elon Musk now is talking about universal basic income. It's becoming a thing, and it's like then the question is who's going to pay for that, which I think is at the heart of a lot of these immigration issues. Is there's the concept they talk about the crime because that's a scare tactic, but often it's talked about burden on resources and things like that, and who are these people? Whereas you know. Most of the hardest working families I've ever met in my life have been first generation immigrants anywhere. People who have the wherewithal to pick up and go to a totally different country that probably speaks a different language. Those are very motivated people. Mm-hmm. And I just think as we go forward, there's gonna be a continuing issue. It's not just gonna be traditionally, underprivileged people. It's gonna be a lot of fucking people. I think it's this younger generation, I think is already dealing with it. Because they're getting out of college and they have the old world system of going to college where they rack up a ton of debt, but now they're getting out and there's no jobs available to them. And it's not all because the baby boomers aren't retiring. There's other things at play, and we're just not seeing them yet. That's what I think. So I think there's going to be bigger issues that cascade through. I also think the immigration thing, I feel like I'm talking a lot. The immigration thing, it basically boils down to, do you think it's a crime? And I think that's the big discrepancy. Some people think if you try to come to this country, that it's a crime.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of recent political moves are this anti-globalization effort, right? Like we had seen before the unification of the EU and through NAFTA, kind of creating a free trade zone in North America, kind of trying to disable and tear these borders down to allow people and jobs to move freely. But I felt like after 2016, it was really like a referendum on globalization and a pullback to nationalism, like trying to close those borders and reinforce it. And I don't know what caused that reaction. I felt like things were going fine. Maybe just that loss of identity, the national identity that people are looking for.
Yeah.
I can't quite put my finger on it. Like the whole...
Even Brexit.
Yeah, Brexit thing is what I was going to say. It's crazy to me. Like, I think people who looked at that didn't believe the spin that the UK was going to save money by leaving the EU. And now here we are, 2 years out, and we just had the figures come out, was it last week, where it's like, oh no, UK's ended up paying more because of Brexit than they would have paid to stay in the EU. It's like, right, nobody really thought that the numbers were going to add up, right?
Aren't they still doing both though? Do you know, Gav? Like, until they leave, aren't they still paying some of these agreements that they have?
Well, yeah, they haven't officially left, so they're still on the hook for that.
Oh my gosh, they're doubling down at this point.
Yeah, so
in that interim.
Yeah, and I still don't know if they've fully hammered out how the exit's going to happen. Yeah, they still haven't fully figured all that out.
Someone's going to come with a giant saw and just...
While we're talking about globalization, Barb, you should be excited about developments in your home country.
Should I be?
Yeah, a couple of immigrants on the couch over here.
What's happening in
Talking
Canada?
about legal weed?
Legal weed in Canada.
Legal weed.
What's the story there? Has that been a thing for a long time in Canada? Try to push for that?
I think so. And it's been decriminalized, I believe, for a while, but not legal in the same way it is.
What does that mean? Decriminalized. I've always wondered.
Does that mean it's like...
I think they'll give you a ticket. It's not something that they'll necessarily...
You wouldn't get arrested
take you
for
into jail for.
Is
that mean criminal means jail?
Because here it's like some states it's legal, but federally, like nationwide, it's still a crime in some way. But Canada does it have like the state system, or is it just one law for the whole country?
I believe. I actually don't know.
They have provinces that, like we have states. Like,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. Quebec seems to be a more conservative province.
Typically.
Yeah. And so, I mean, who knows what can happen? Like, I believe in Vancouver, even I think prostitution is legal already, or maybe it's just decriminalized in Vancouver.
Decriminalized prostitution.
Decriminalized.
Yeah, I believe it was like province specific, if I recall correctly, but this new development is nationwide.
Somebody in chat tell us, somebody who's a smart political science.
I haven't been keeping up with the weed laws in Canada.
The Republican Party in Texas and the leading Democratic candidate for senator who's going to oppose Ted Cruz have both come out and said they're pushing for legal cannabis in Texas.
In Texas.
Which I'm actually really surprised.
I thought I would be long gone before that happened.
You think so?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner because Texas does have a reputation of being a southern state and therefore very conservative as well.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, the only thing I've noticed in my many, many years of living in Texas is this crazy independent streak. Like, you will not tell us what to do. We are doing our own thing, and that's it. So I'm actually surprised that Texas hasn't done it yet.
If nothing else, just looking around at the tax revenue that other states are
Right.
I was
enjoying
going to
from
say,
it.
I imagine they looked at California and saw the benefit that they were getting from it
Agriculture.
for the economy.
Also, think what it would do to the Texas
Also,
border for drug trafficking.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is then if you're taking all this money away from cartels, then what happens to cartel activity along the border? What happens to?
They start trading in stuff like soap.
Well, then
nice
then
things.
Does it become
Bubble bath.
less dangerous for people to live in Mexico and Central America? And then are they not trying to leave that violence and come to the United States? I think a lot of this stuff is connected.
Yeah, well, once again, I wonder. It's like you can't. Nothing operates in a vacuum. So it's like, let's say tomorrow they pass a law, and that day it was instituted where it's like Portugal, where there are no drug laws, where everything is legal. Period. And so then pharmaceutical companies or whoever can start selling, or RJ Reynolds can start selling tobacco like or tobacco like marijuana, cigarettes in packs. And those kinds of things. Then what would happen in places that are now, that's where they're making their money from illegal drug trade? Like, that money would stop. But I feel like things like kidnapping and those other things would then soar dramatically.
Just to make up for the crime.
Yeah, they're not going to
make up
not
for
crime right now.
lost money.
Yeah.
lost money. The cartel's like, yeah, we can't. Suddenly, nobody wants to buy our drugs, so there's other ways to make money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we
Gambling?
actually see a surge in other countries of violence, especially in Central America. I feel like we would.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. Nothing operates in a vacuum. If you take that away, then
Yeah,
what is the other shoe? Like what happens on the other side?
man,
Yeah, it's a little terrifying.
It's complicated.
what a world, dude.
Or they could all just get high and chill out. Who knows? Although if they're not doing that already, then
They've already got the drugs.
they already have the drugs.
Does weed go bad?
I'm sure it does.
I don't know. It's a
I
good
think
question.
it could get dry, probably. If it's left out.
Does alcohol go bad?
Does
Doesn't
it?
seem like it does.
Probably.
I bet it does eventually.
I think like beer and stuff could go bad.
Like for parties, I'll buy a bunch of booze, and then 9 months later, I'll still have like that much vodka in the bottom of a bottle, and I'm like,
Oh.
that's probably still good,
I imagine
right?
things like vodka and like hard liquors and stuff are fine, but I don't know if like
I feel like
beer
if
and
it's
things like
a liquid you can clean stuff with, it's probably not going to go bad.
Yeah, but you don't drink the
Clean with
alcohol
any
that you
liquid.
clean with.
or freeze it and
What?
it not freeze.
Like pour on a wound.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna pour milk in a wound, probably. Ostrich yolk or anything like that.
Gross.
Ashley and she has this one beer that she loves. It's a
She's already there. She's
Shiner
ready to go.
Shiner Christmas beer, and we've had one of those bottles or two of those bottles for I think like 2 years now. They changed the label on the beer on a seasonal beer, so it's at least 2 years old at this point,
I
right?
think beer lasts like 2 or 3 years when bottled.
Didn't we find it in a
What about
filing
canned?
cabinet?
Yeah, it was in a filing cabinet.
Oh, was it filed under B or C? Is it beer or Christmas?
Yeah, it was holiday.
Pizza
Were you there,
party.
Barbara, when we floated the river and Jack bought cans of beer that he found in his house that were from like 4 years earlier?
think
and they
I
had
was there.
dust all over him.
Oh
And
my!
he was
This
like,
this fucking guy.
Look.
This fucking guy. You want to talk
brought
about
this
old
up
beer?
enough. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna play that card. We've talked about this on the podcast. I served Gus a beer one time that had been in a cooler for a while.
It was in a bottle in a cooler.
What's
in a
a while?
It had been in there long enough to where when I popped the cap off, there was a rust ring around the top of the bottle.
I thought you were gonna say there was like a shriek, like a woman's
Spirits
scream.
emerged from it. and then they took our jobs.
Did you get mad?
It was like one of those ostrich eggs that came out with goopy like
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And Bernie goes, oh, just pour it in a glass. You'll be fine.
So Ashley and I,
Pour it in a glass.
So I poured it in a glass and I drank it.
Ashley and I have an amazing thing going on right now.
Let me read this before you get to your
Why?
amazing thing.
You gonna commercialize my cute little story?
Want to remind everyone, this episode of the Repeat Podcast is brought to you by Nerdificent.
Okay, fine.
It's a new podcast from comedians Danny Fernandez and Ife Wadiwe. It's a weekly deep dive into nerdy subjects you didn't know you wanted to know about. Whether it's the mind-expanding frontiers of virtual reality or the surprisingly exciting modern renaissance of tabletop games, they'll take you from the origins into surprising future of each subject. It's a fancy way to say they go down a bottomless Google rabbit hole and tell you about the coolest stuff they find. Don't miss out on Nerdificent. Catch it every week for great comedy and information. Some of the things they talked about recently are VR, Comic-Con, Marvel Cinematic Universe, tabletop games, stuff in that vein. Show comes out weekly on Tuesdays, after us, chumps. It's produced by How Stuff Works Network's comedy division, responsible for The Daily Zeitgeist and Culture Kings. Listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for sponsoring this episode of our podcast.
So we advertise a different podcast on this podcast?
It's a little weird.
So
After you're done listening to our podcast, then you can go listen to that podcast.
Well, that should be an equal trade. They should advertise ours.
You're right, they should.
Sam on Twitter sent us photos of him standing on ostrich eggs to
Oh, okay,
demonstrate.
someone's got to stand on the egg.
What?
Someone's got to stand on the egg.
Well, he's standing on a few, so there's a distribution of weight across a couple eggs.
Yeah,
He
I
looks like
think I'm
he's
too
standing on a
heavy for
little
that.
stack of eggs. Clearly somewhere in Australia. He found some eggs.
Well, yeah, because he's upside down then. There's
Yeah,
less weight.
there's an abundance there.
So we have, so this is now, we're in the middle of our fourth meal of the day, about to go to our fifth
We
meal.
didn't really talk about our Sundays.
How would you get? What'd you eat?
I just did Mexican vanilla with this, what is that, peanut butter crumble shit stuff?
Is it Butterfinger?
Butterfinger?
Heath bar?
Oh, Heath bar, so good. I didn't know that
Not
existed
peanut
until
butter.
I moved to, what?
Yeah. No, that's,
Toffee.
Heath is toffee, which is basically just like
I thought
burnt
it was
caramel,
peanut
right?
butter. Doesn't it smell like peanut butter?
Caramel?
Yeah,
Caramel.
caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel.
There's an A in there.
Hey,
Gavin?
Ashley, what is the name of the shark in Jaws?
Bruce. Aren't they all named Bruce? Isn't
you
every
got it.
shark
You
named
nailed
Bruce?
it. It's actually, she's right. It's Bruce.
Oh, it was like the behind-the-scenes name, right?
Yeah,
Lives.
that's the name of the shark. It's Bruce.
We were talking before.
Look at you, baby.
You actually answered way better than I
Look
thought.
at you.
Yeah, baby.
I was just doing my Finding Nemo.
I was talking to someone the other day. They were having an argument with me, telling me the shark's name was Jaws. I was
Yeah.
like, the movie's called Jaws.
He's got jaws.
There's not a shark called Jaws.
Who names their shark Jaws?
That's what Gus was
I'm gonna
saying.
get a fucking
Yeah.
shark and name it Jaws, despite y'all.
What I said.
Did you think it was Jaws?
No.
You were defensive. Yeah, you did. Look at your face.
I just like the name Jaws for a shark now. It's cute. It's cute.
Sharks don't get names though.
So
They're just sharks.
we are in the process right now of trying to name a new animal because Ashley and I have a new pet. We got
Did you get a kitten?
we got something even cooler than a kitten.
dog?
We have a squirrel. We have a pet squirrel that now lives in our doorway.
You have vermin?
It's not vermin. Like, I got security cam footage of it. It's the
fun.
cutest thing ever.
It's a rodent.
It's a baby and it needs
Oh, there he is. Come on, tell me that guy's like
Okay,
so
he's
tiny.
cute as fuck.
Look at his little flippin' head.
I have a name for you. Jaws.
Can we name him Jaws? I would love to do that.
Jaws the squirrel? That's great.
Nibbles.
So we
That's a little
go.
too close to nipples.
Gus, you would hate this. We put
Nipples,
like
come
apples.
here. What?
We put apples out for him and everything like that, and he just sits there and he like. We obviously put a little security camera right next to it, and he just sits there and chews on his little apples all day, and we watch him from work and stuff
Choose it with his jaw.
with his jaws.
Jaws.
I saw.
Formidable jaws.
I saw someone else on the internet who maybe likes squirrels as much as you do. I saw someone who they saw a squirrel in their front yard who had this weird, really long, misshapen tooth.
Oh yeah, the saber tooth.
Yeah, it was.
squirrel.
Well, it was like I guess normally with squirrels, their teeth don't ever stop growing, but this squirrel's jaw was slightly misaligned, so it was never that tooth was never chewing on anything, so it was like really long and almost touching its eye.
Yeah.
So she decided she wanted to do something about it. So she caught the squirrel in a blanket and using some really sharp cuticle cutters, she like trimmed its tooth down.
Fuck that lady.
God.
Trim the tooth. Like, why not just pull the tooth? Be like,
Pull it.
Instead of trimming a tooth, you know how
you're
much that
trying-
hurt?
No,
You can trim a rabbit's tooth. Oh,
that was not the photo I found, but yeah, that's very similar. Where
Yeah.
she just like trimmed it down and then re-released the squirrel so that it could go back out and live its life.
yeah, apparently there are some animals where if their teeth grow under, they can like go into their own brains and stuff.
Yo, ram's horns, right?
What?
Rams?
Oh, they like poke themselves in the head?
Yeah, they get like stuck in their own head. Or an ibex.
They can scratch their own asshole with their horns.
When they get high
I
enough,
want that. Why
long
can't
enough?
At what point do you die from that? Like it'll go into the
From
brain.
having horns? Probably like day 2 for me.
But
I would
it'll be
say.
so slow. Like it'd be on the edge of your brain, and you'd probably be acting weird. But at what point?
Your brain could like rewire around it eventually, right?
Yeah, I wonder if it'd be like getting shot in the head, but it would take like a year to go through. When you would die, would you die at 3 months?
Yeah, like would your brain adjust or like the makeup?
What was it? Was it
How
in, like,
convenient
an X-Men
would it-
movie where it like the bullets like stopping on his head like that?
What was it? What was the power that did that?
Magneto.
Magneto
was
did
Magneto,
it? Stopped
yeah.
it?
Yeah, but if it just slowly bored its way through,
That'd be horrible.
would you be gone in 2 weeks?
Well, I would think it would be really convenient if the horns grew back then into your skull. But the first part of the brain they hit was the part that grows horns, and then it just stopped. That'd be like winning the deformed horn lottery.
We're
But
good.
we have a sad story about the squirrel, the origin of the squirrel.
Jaws.
So he's a little squirrel. I don't know if you noticed. He's a little squirrel. He's a little smush.
Little like hamster squirrel.
And we saw he's a black squirrel, which is also weird for people
Yeah,
who
you
don't.
saw, I noticed in that video, has like a black head.
That's really rare for Austin.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever
believe,
seen black squirrels.
I believe black squirrels are in Canada. I don't know if they're in the United States.
So it's super weird
Yeah.
that we have black squirrels here. We noticed the black squirrel.
Yeah, so we had one living in our yard for a while. It's huge, like this big, like
Yeah.
big old squirrel that's black on the front and brown on the back.
Yep.
Like someone took the squirrels and went mush. And
Maybe they did.
maybe they did.
I'm rubbing off
but
on
it also got smoosh.
Yeah, it got
Some car
squished
hit
in the
it.
street after like
Aw.
2
And we
days after we
recognized
found it.
Was that the squirrel's mom?
Yeah, we think
so.
so. Then it showed up like the next day. It was at our back door, like hiding in our flower bed.
Oh.
And so we started feeding it. So we're raising this little
We have
orphan
an
squirrel.
orphan. Little orphan
Do you have,
squirrely.
like a little feeder for it, or you just put apples out?
Apples.
Do you dress
And-
your hand up like a
and
squirrel
nuts.
and pretend it's another one?
No, maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. We'll look into that.
Just get the one off
Not
the
yet.
street.
Although Amazon has, believe it or not,
Very
Amazon
good,
has
Gavin.
everything. They have squirrel beds. Hey, do you guys want the ice cream before it melts? You guys want ice cream?
I
Anybody?
gave him some from over here.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But yeah, y'all can take that one too.
Do you
Ashley, do you want an
anymore?
ice cream?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday.
I'm gonna have
You
dinner
know-
later.
You can't turn down ice cream on Sunday,
All
Monday.
right, I will have some Sunday, Monday, Sunday.
Can we say it is Podcast Sunday Monday, or do we have to say it's Podcast Sunday Monday Egg today? Because that's
Sunday,
what
Monday.
it is. Doesn't roll off the tongue as easily.
Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday, egg.
Sunday Monday Egg, featuring egg.
Egg.
Well, next year we'll just have a bigger egg.
We'll have a
two
goat
eggs.
egg.
So the plan is podcast steak off, podcast pancakes.
I'm not cooking a steak anymore. Someone's cooking me a steak next time.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you're exactly right. And then now we have podcast Sundays. So we need a fourth one. Here's what I'm thinking to tie all these things up. Well, let's just eat the squirrel when it gets big enough. Let's bring we'll do it like 3 months from now. No, I was just kidding. We're not going
Very
to
good
eat
joke.
Jaws.
We can make a stew.
So we have 3 now, 3 events,
It's tacos.
1 per quarter.
We got to do tacos.
We need the tacos. I thought we talked about doing pizza, like a special pizza day.
What can we do? So we have tacos. So we have
Pancakes.
Shrove Tuesday is in kind of the spring. We have Sunday, Monday for the summer. We can do steaks in the fall, which would leave. What would we do? Oh, sure. Are we gonna do 2 steaks this year then? Are we doing? There, Eric said, "Well,
Taco Tuesday, Mondays.
we'll need something for winter, preferably indoor then, so we don't have to go outside."
S'mores.
We should, yeah, or like
S'mores? That's what you say?
I don't know. Dude, I was put on the spot. I had to come up with something.
You didn't have to. It's a group question.
My first thought was like alcoholic
Pudding.
eggnog drinks and stuff like that.
What about
But that's not fun.
campfire podcast with s'mores?
in the winter.
Yep. Outside there, we'll light a fire. Massive one.
Gavin just stole my idea. That was my idea.
It's a great
I
idea,
had the
Gavin.
fire.
He made it actually fun.
That's like remember like in those groups like creative meetings, somebody will say something and it was like and then somebody will say the exact same
Yeah, but
idea. Like,
s'mores on their own
that's a good
weren't
idea.
Well, he
enough.
said it with his Australian accent. It was nice.
You add to ideas. It's, community,
I think
committee.
the campfire is implied when you say s'mores. I think
Yeah,
it's
you
implied.
can't have indoor s'mores.
All
What are we just
fine.
gonna eat raw s'mores?
Hey, nice idea.
That would be really funny, actually. Like, what are you doing? I mean, a s'mores, you just got like a chocolate bar, a marshmallow, and a graham cracker.
I think I like the act of making a s'more more than I like eating it.
Yeah,
Oh, I hate them.
It's not.
hate 'em.
It's
They're not worth it.
It's not worth
So
it.
why are we doing that?
we're not. Clearly,
2 people suggest it.
we're
Why
gonna
don't
do
we
pudding.
roast a whole chicken?
Eric, what are we doing for winter?
Oh shit, dude!
Have you thought about s'mores?
S'mores?
Why don't we
Great idea.
do Bernie? Why don't we do the cheese scrapings?
Oh my god,
What
that's
are
The
cheese scrapings?
raclette thingies.
raclette, where they take the cheese and it's like a wheel of cheese. And they cut it in half, so you got like this like strip where the cut is, and then they roast that and melt that all up, and then they take it over in like a plate of like steak or potatoes, and they go.
Or Barbara's open mouth.
It's so good. How come you guys didn't eat there when you were in New York last time? I told you to go eat there.
No time.
So good.
Yeah, you got to make time for Raclette.
How have you not been back? You've been in New York a ton.
I didn't have Harley with me. I feel wrong to go without him.
Harley. Yeah, he was a good person to bring to it. Harley from Epic Mealtime. So if you're ever going to go have like a super over-the-top decadent meal, like he was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like just walked straight to the kitchen after halfway through the meal and started filming stuff. And
He also asked
jawing with the kitchen
if
staff.
the woman would scrape it into his mouth, but she was having none of it because it would have burnt him.
It was probably way too hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's molten
That was my plan.
cheese.
He would still have that cheese in his beard today. He's got a cool thing going on. He's got a food
Sells
product.
jerky,
Yeah, have you had it?
pizza jerky. No.
Yeah.
He sells jerky?
He's got a jerky brand. It's like a pizza jerky. It's jerky. Tastes like pizza. And it's in Walmart.
People keep saying we should do Pizza Sphere for the winter.
Oh, pizza sphere. Hell
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking of. I was
What
like,
is
I know
that
it's like
again?
Pizza.
How does that
We were gonna just
Smaller
layer
pizzas,
pizza,
and then get
yeah,
the bigger ones.
and then like make a sphere out of
Dude,
it.
pizza sphere for the winner.
We should do Pizza Sphere and Infinite Pizza on the other side.
Oh
It's
yeah.
pizza.
It's where you like cut it in a way where it makes
a spiral.
A spiral.
And you just, like-
start eating and you just keep going.
Have you never seen Infinite Pizza?
No, sounds good though.
That's what you gave Jordan on his first day of work.
Yep.
A picture of how to eat infinite pizza. You framed
I
it.
feel like to get through a pizza sphere, you would need one of those knives that jiggles like this through bread, just to get right down through all the layers.
Gus, can I have permission
just
to
like
tell
a
a racist
chainsaw.
joke?
Oh God, I can't give you permission for that.
Yeah, you can because it's a racist Mexican joke, but it's not that racist. It's just fun.
God damn,
It's gonna be okay.
I got no control over this.
How do Mexican people cut pizza?
How?
Little Caesars.
Well, I can't wait for the
multicultural.
I can't wait
That's
for the
not
hard
racist,
cut of that
that's
after the fucking discussion about immigrants at the border being separated from their
I read
families.
that online. I thought this weekend that was kind of fun. That's multicultural because you have to understand other people's languages in order to appreciate the joke. So I think it's.
Would you
I
read
think it's
that
good.
in the Donald
I think it brings
subreddit?
us together.
That's
is what
great.
I
Man, did you see that thing about that Politico article about Trump staffers complaining that they can't get matches in online dating in Washington D.C.?
Oh, that's seriously. I know people who went to DC after college to start a career in politics. That's actually a really big deal. That's a fucking pretty crazy scene. It's a lot of really young people with honestly huge egos. So if they're getting left out of that scene, that's a big fucking deal. It really is.
Yeah, it was the whole article wasn't about that. It was actually a really long piece, but then that's like the section that everyone kind of picked up on and started spreading via social media. Just like, yeah, no, tough shit. Oh well.
Yeah, tough shit.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about it.
We were talking about Tinder at VidCon
Oh, yeah?
because we had a great $1 million butt panel.
Who was on?
It was me and Gavin. I think you were originally slated, but you ended up not being able to go to VidCon. So it was me, Phil DeFranco, Mamie Hart, Grace Helbig,
Did you introduce him this time?
Hannah Hart. Dude, people kept tweeting me about Phil DeFranco's intro all day. Like I had anxiety. I didn't get anxiety.
What happened?
Phil DeFranco's?
Last year, Phil DeFranco was on the MDB podcast. He's great at MDB. Like he just like riffs and can come up with these amazing scenarios.
Yeah.
And last year we had the panel. Gavin was on it, and it was Markiplier and Justine, Phil DeFranco. I think Freddie was
Freddie,
yeah, and
Wong.
yeah, and so I introed everybody, and it was so many people to intro. I forgot Phil,
And we all
he was
thought-
going to be last.
We all thought he was
Everyone
doing
it was
a bit. So Burnie comes and like sits down at the table with us, and I'm
of
looking
course
at
the audience
Mark
is like-
and Freddie, and we're like,
Yeah.
"You're gonna."
I'm sweating thinking about this. It's just.
So is he the first person you introduced this time around?
No, he wasn't. But I was very, very clear.
I would have
like,
made sure to get her over with.
Oh my God, I know.
First up,
You should-
Phil DeFranco.
Give him a Gus. Introduce him first and last.
I did, and then I did Mamie first, and the next up was the last panelist that I haven't named yet, which is Hank Green, the guy who started VidCon, and he did great. He did really great. He killed it too. He was great, Gus. You should go back and I don't know if they record him, but if you can watch it, because he's like great at like semantically picking everything apart and then like making it even 10 times worse by doing that.
Oh God.
We should have all those people in real episodes.
We have almost all of them at this point except for Hank and Mamrie, and they both want to do the show. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Do you have Justine?
No, Justine and Freddie were not on the panel this year. They were not available, I don't
But
believe.
anyway, we should get both of them to be in an episode.
Absolutely. Freddie would be great because we could get him to do some
Yeah,
visual
that'd be
effects for it too. That'd be fun.
Ooh.
Make
He'll
it
probably
work.
do it. He'll probably make us do it. But
I saw Justine during E3. It's always good to see her and catch up. I feel like I never get to see her. She's always so busy doing stuff.
I know. You have to, there's certain people you have to keep up with on their Instagram story. You know, that's the only way to keep up with them.
She has so much tech.
But one of the scenarios was $1 million, but every time you have sex, your head becomes disconnected from your body for 24 hours. Like, you're fine. You can pull your own head
After
off.
sex or before sex?
It's like during sex, the moment you
Does it
start
like
having sex.
float around, or you have to like hold it?
No, you'd have to like hold your head on penetration, and then you're like.
you could get the other person to hold it for you.
That's pretty cool,
When
right?
does the head pop off? At the beginning of sex?
Yeah,
or when you're-
penetration.
Right, at
So it's like as
penetration.
soon as it starts.
What if you don't finish? So we're going down the rabbit hole. Never mind.
Yeah. Literally, the best thing about that, because we played the card game because we didn't really have anything else to do on stage. We're not going to go out and film that stuff. So we did the card game. We did one hand, and one hand, we spent 35 minutes of the hour panel talking about one hand. It's just like, 5 different scenarios, but like only one round, basically.
Yeah.
We should film those though. We should make those episodes.
We do them at RTX. The
I
problem
feel
is
like VidCon's a perfect one because you get people who can't make it to RTX.
that would be great too. The problem is all those people, we have to then schedule a second round of shooting with them where we shoot the scenarios.
Yeah.
What?
I'm reading chat here.
Why?
What if you were really into hair pulling?
Well, I was
They
thinking
could they could hold you by the hair.
Well, where would you disconnect?
Oh,
Because some people also like choking, but like if your head's disconnected, if you choke, then does it pop off? Like, how does that happen?
Well, I just thought of a great joke that I could have said during the panel, and I missed it now. Would you just tell people in advance? You tell people, look, I really like to give head. Literally, because we were talking about like what the hell would your
Here you go.
Tinder bio look like? You'd be like, look, I want to be straight up front about this. I love to wear turtlenecks during sex, and this is just what I'm into.
Ignore all the ropes.
But you can get, like,
connecting things.
A view, you could like get a view you normally couldn't get.
Why do you go to the butthole right away?
I can't get that view normally.
Could you
and I
put
could
on, like,
get,
a-
I wouldn't
I
want
would like
that.
to like
Zip,
watch myself have sex.
Maybe you said that. She put herself on the shelf and just like, yeah, let's see this.
But also, it would also be my boyfriend having sex with a headless body,
That's true.
which I don't know if I'd enjoy.
Could you wear a diving suit?
To have sex?
I just cut a hole for your
Again?
genitals, are
No, I don't know.
You know about
why
like
not?
the big thing with the metal.
Yeah, keep your head in.
You think of like a neoprene wetsuit that holds everything together, or like an
No,
actual
like Bioshock.
like Big Daddy?
But then like your head's loose and it like spins around. What if you're facing the wrong way?
Yeah.
Or it's like rattling around in that thing.
Just like up against the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a blast. And that's the thing about that show is so much fun to do because it's just like we just did now. You just like sit around and riff for like
It's the best part.
20, 30 minutes.
I would say $1 Million Butt is one of my favorite shows and least favorite shows to make.
Least.
Well, like the table part, I love it. I could do that all day.
It's efficient.
Doing the B-roll and all that crap where it's like, all right, wear a costume for 28 hours for, 4 seconds of footage.
Right.
That stuff gets really old.
Or, I'm still to this day, they asked Gavin to do something, and I said no. I heard about it like in the pre-production meeting. I'm like, no, we're not going to shoot this. And I said I wouldn't ask Gavin to do that. And they're like, well, why don't we just like run it by Gavin? I go, you can run it by Gavin. He's going to say no to doing that.
Oh, what was it?
Can I say?
Well, I don't know what it is.
When they made the fake dog shit and you ate dog shit in the park
Yeah.
and like the close-up of you eating turds.
Yeah.
I thought, there's no way Gavin. Gavin was like, oh, fuck it, dude. I don't give a shit. Yeah. It's funny. I'll do it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm glad I didn't veto it.
Well, the thing is, I like to do I used to do a lot more like shit-related MDBs. And everyone was like, stop doing so much about asses and anuses and dicks and stuff.
Bathrooms.
So when one came up and I'm the one turning down doing shit, I can't be that guy. I'm going to have to stuff a few shits in my mouth and get down on it.
I like that. I like that attitude.
The worst part about that there was real dog shit on the grass just nearby, and it smelled like it smelled like real shit.
So
you could smell dog shit while he's eating fake dog shit.
But it was delicious. It was a really weird. I was so confused internally.
I saw a video of there's this restaurant that serves a dessert, but in like a full toilet. They bring you a full toilet.
Oh, that's just.
What's wrong
and
with
you
people?
open up the lid and it's chocolate ice cream, but
No.
it's smeared against like the inside of the bowl.
So
So
you're like scraping off skitters?
yeah, you're like
Is there
eating
corn in there?
I saw that. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
When I was in Korea, I ate at a cafe that they did that, except it was little toilets like this big.
That's so
I was like, where'd you get a little toilet like that?
This is like a full size toilet.
But yeah, I saw that when the guy's like carrying it with 2 arms.
You can 3D print anything.
I was like, you could put anything in there. Anything, like the most delicious fucking dessert in the world. I'm not eating something that looks like shit out of a
Do you
toilet.
think you
I
could
just can't
shit
separate.
on like a 25% toilet? Like a quarter-sized toilet?
I can do it. You don't have precision?
I don't have control.
No, like, is it low or is it like Like what? How is it?
It's like,
The bowl.
But
is just small.
God, then you're like sitting on your ass.
well, that's
right?
how
The
people
meal.
meant to shit anyway. They're meant to squat.
I don't even know if you could squat. Like
Oh no.
Oh,
that's like
that's
Good timing.
awful. Is that broccoli in it?
I think that's soup. That's
Oh.
something else.
It looks like beef.
that's like with the place I went to in
Casserole.
Korea. Is like that's a small toilet like that size.
That looks awful. That looks like who thinks to do that, then tells somebody
Yeah, you're
else
right.
about this.
They're,
they are.
they're all sitting on toilets.
They're on bogs.
It's the
But the
toilet
lids-
cafe.
Oh.
Gross. No thanks.
Yeah, I've seen that like where they put coffee drinks and stuff in toilets too, like little toilet mugs.
You know, that's great because coffee makes me shit. So
Where's the squirrel? Oh, she's gone.
In one end, out the other.
yeah, it's like
Excellent.
ooh, my mug is empty. Time to fill it.
I had a scary dream the other day because I was thinking about cool evolutions, I guess, like how some chameleons and stuff can blend to look like other shit.
Yeah, how does that work out over time?
But I was thinking,
Do you like
why
one
hasn't
color?
a plant evolved with human skin?
Okay,
Annihilation.
why?
Oh, it is kind of like annihilation, isn't it?
No, but
I like-
that's mutations. But why human skin on a plant? It's a different kingdom.
I just think it'd be off-putting.
Well, yeah, it would be. You're right. It'd be very off-putting. But what's the purpose of it? Like, does that plant the
Well,
human
every
skin?
every plant has a purpose, like the way it grows, the way it looks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But if it was actually like leathery feel of skin, that's like one of the creepiest things I can imagine.
Well, vegetarians, like omnivores, wouldn't eat it. Not herbivores wouldn't eat it, right? Because they don't eat meat. Does a cow eat meat? If you gave it meat, would it eat meat?
Yeah, I think
That's
that's how Mad Cow
Mad
happened.
cows died.
Right. They put protein in it.
Yeah, they like.
So it's just cows. They're herbivores because they can't catch anything, basically. Is that right?
I think so. They're just
Like
lazy.
if they could catch something, they would
They'd eat
it.
you if they could.
Yeah. They probably would, right?
Bernie Burger.
What is the
sounds good.
purpose of the four stomachs? Is it
I think
like
it's
different-
because the grass and the vegetation they eat is so dense in cellulose. It takes so long to break down. It has to go through different stages and redigestion.
There's like different kinds of acids.
Right, like and then they'll spit it up as cud, continue to chew it, and then swallow it again for a different stomach.
Because when you throw up, it comes out of your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So if a cow vomits,
Yeah, they
is
chew
just the first stomach, or can one stomach go into the next one?
Oh, like the
How does cow
ventricle?
vomit work?
Backwards.
Like a ventricle in a
Right,
heart?
like
Yeah.
do they all connect or do they all come up to the mouth to then get
Well,
sent
that's
down
what
to different?
chewing your cud is. So they eat grass. It's delicious. Then their stomach digests it for a while, and they puke it back up into their mouth and chew that again.
You want to know something real dumb?
Go ahead.
You know how like you
It's still less gross than the toilet bowl food too.
you hear words and like phrases and stuff when you're a kid. For the longest time, probably until I was about 12 or 13 years old, I would hear about cows chewing cud, and I thought for some reason cud was the word for baby cow.
Oh,
And so I thought cows just chewed on their babies.
Living babies?
Yeah. And
Like
just
gnawing
like that was
on the
just,
kids?
Like they would just be out in the field just chewing their cud. And I'd be like, why do they have to do that?
Okay, I guess it
assholes.
sounds like kid. Is that what you were
yeah,
thinking?
like
Maybe.
calf.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was like probably until I was 12 or 13 that I thought that was the case.
that's funny.
I mean, I still think that
Not proud.
Australia is where ostriches come from. I'm never gonna get that fact out of my head. I got it wrong for so long; it's never gonna leave my head.
It's like scarring
Yeah,
of your brain.
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you like get in your brain or learn as a kid that you think is true until.
Also, can you remember times in your life where an adult told you something wrong? Like you
Yeah.
learned something,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and you got it wrong, and you're like, "Oh, that fucking adult was wrong."
I was told if I crossed my eyes and someone hit me on the back of the head, they would stay that way.
yeah,
When
I was
when
told
we
it's
were
illegal to turn on a light inside a car.
yeah. That's one. I was told that
when
when a car is driving, you can't turn the lights
Yeah,
on.
because you get pulled over.
Yeah,
I was in my ninth grade English class with Frank, Frank, and our teacher was trying to teach us the concept of ennui, and she pronounced it N-U-I,
Oh,
and Frank raised his hands like, no, I think you mean ennui. She goes, no, N-U-I. He goes, no, it's a French word, it's ennui. She goes, no, it's E-N-N-U-I, ennui, or N-U-I. And Frank and I sat next to each other like, yeah, just give it up. It's not happening.
My English teacher pronounced it Tusami instead of tsunami.
Tusami.
And I was like,
Tusami.
read it. That's not how it's spelled. Read it.
I love Jessica Tusami.
Like, that's such...
School's the worst for that. It's like they're teaching who knows how many people wrong.
I was also told, and I didn't realize how far spread this fact or rumor was, that Marilyn Manson had a rib removed so he could suck his own dick.
Yeah.
Did anyone else
I heard that.
hear that
heard
as
that.
a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No, of course not.
No.
So
I
mine
know
was-
it's not, but
my
like,
operation was a waste.
But as like, how did every single kid know that fact?
How do kids learn anything? They talked about there's a thing called, what the hell is it called?
Backmasking?
Like it's called the schoolyard network or something, little kid network where the information passes. For me, it's always
But it's like across countries.
how in the fuck did all kids know to blow on cartridges for Nintendo? Like that that was like a running thing. It wasn't just like a solution. It was like a big part of the culture.
That was kind of analog wide though. Like if something wasn't working, you always blow on it.
Or bang it or
Thing
tap
is,
on it.
people know there's dust on it.
But the actual solution existed all the time, and it was super easy. And a friend of mine knew the solution, but that didn't permeate. But the blowing did.
Yeah.
He would take quarters, and you'd put them on top of the Nintendo cartridge, and it would the spring would wear out, so it wouldn't hold itself down. So you just had to wedge it against the top of the
Yeah,
thing.
the blowing actually did nothing.
Did nothing. It was just you were resetting the thing. You were just taking it out, putting it back in, and resetting it. The blowing did absolutely
I
nothing.
don't think that's true.
No, it's absolutely
I
true.
want to believe that
you
my
have
blowing was
you had to
purposeful.
press it down further. It was just all that was happening was you were just taking it out and putting it in more and more, and eventually it would work.
Eventually, you get a shitty connection that worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's basically just like a short almost. You
Yeah.
know, it's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Someone also recently told me they never realized that the phrase "hold your horses" means be stable. But I don't think that's what that means.
Hold your horses means be stable.
Yeah, it's like because it's like be like a stable and
my
hold your
God.
horses.
No,
But
hold your horses means calm down.
It's a great connection,
yeah, it
though.
means don't jump to conclusions immediately, or
it's
like,
like
don't
you're
do
the
that immediately.
starting line for a race, and your horse is trying to go, and you're like, hold your horses.
Yeah,
Like,
so the
it's-
person was telling me, they're like, I can't believe I never realized that, and I was like, well, I don't think that's right.
It's not right, but it's a great reference, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, be stable.
my
Be
big
stable.
one, which man, I held this forever.
Was it a horse?
I remember a teacher telling me that separate with an E and separate with an A are two different words. And
Separate.
separate with an E was the verb, and separate was the adjective. Like those are two separate things. And then if you want to separate things, that it's with an E. And I believe that for fucking ever.
Oh my god.
I believed it forever.
Should sue that
It's like effect and effect. You know what I mean? Like that. And it's like, I can clearly remember the
Alter
teacher who
and
taught me
alter.
that. And it was just wrong. She
Wow.
taught me something wrong.
Let that be a lesson to everyone who's still in school.
Andrew Blanchard
They don't know anything.
has some of the best misunderstandings of phrases.
Play it by ear.
Play it by year. He
God.
thought it was woof it down instead of wolf it down.
I mean, that's kind of
Woof it down? I know people who say woof instead of wolf, though, too.
Yeah, but he thought it was actually woof, like
He's
the
dumb.
dog.
Well,
There, of course, there were always words that I read more than I ever said.
Epitome.
Epitome was mine. Yeah. And so it's like you just get them pronounced wrong. And then in your head,
Biopic?
they're always right. Yeah, but yeah, you always make fun of me for biopic instead of biopic.
Biopic.
Yeah.
Here, I want to read this. I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is also brought to you by Bespoke Post. Upgrading your clothes, your kitchen, even your bar has never been easier. If you're like me, adding more style to your life without a trip to the store sounds perfect. Anything to not go to the store. That's where Bespoke Post comes in. Each month, Bespoke Post delivers a box full of goods to upgrade your style, apartment, and your life. There's no commitment. There are new boxes each month on style, grooming, drinking, or travel. The bar section has some great glasses, brew kits, and good-looking accessories. I just ordered something actually from the travel section. It's a new bag. I've been thinking of getting rid of my backpack, so I can't wait to get it and try it out. Bespoke Post scouts out quality and unique products around the world, delivering them to you every month without high retail markups. To get started, visit boxofawesome.com, answer a few questions about the style you want to achieve. Each box goes for under $50, but has more than $70 worth of unique gear inside. If you're not feeling that month's box, just skip it. To receive 20% off your first subscription box, go to boxofawesome.com, enter promo code Rooster at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, promo code Rooster for 20% off your first box. Bespoke Post themed boxes for guys that give a damn. Thank you for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Do you say bespoke?
Is it bespoke?
I think it's bespoke.
Bespoke? I felt weird saying bespoke post. I feel like enunciating it is important for the URL, but then the URL was Box of Awesome. So I got in my own head.
We're just talking about words that you read and don't.
Yeah, it was just I was all screwed
The
up.
best one
I
is
say
Colonel.
best poke. That's how I say it.
Best
The
bouquet.
best poke.
Best poke.
So
That's what I put on my Tinder profile. Got the best poke.
Got the best poke.
Did you ever use that word for being fingered?
what?
Bespoke?
Bespoke.
No. Like that guy poked me. I wouldn't say it because I'm a dude and I never got fingered, but a
Except by
girl-
Jeff.
Oh, he fingers my ass.
Yeah, but that was only on camera.
Maybe it's a northern thing.
Getting fingered on camera? Yep, sure is.
Nope.
But the word
Maybe it's northern lingo. Like, oh yeah, I went out last night, I got poked.
No.
no, that doesn't. That
Northern
sounds like
where?
you're getting
Like-
fucked by someone with a micro dick
Like,
or really like sharp
the
dick.
girl who said it she was a Geordie.
None of what you've said makes sense.
Newcastle. She's
Okay.
from Newcastle.
She said she got poked.
Yeah. If you're from Newcastle and you've been poked, let it me know in the comments.
And getting poked means specifically fingered?
Getting finger blasted, yeah.
And not.
That sounds like it was an accident.
I can check with her. It was about 15 years ago
Like,
that
this
she
guy
was telling
poked me. I turned around and slapped him in the face. I would never use that term.
I knew Geordies were from Newcastle because sometimes I watch like British reality TV, and
Geordie Shore.
they'll have terms that I don't know, and I'll text Gavin. I'm like, "Hey, what does this mean?" And he'll have to reply. And one time I watched an episode, they kept saying Geordie. I was like, "What the fuck does this mean?"
Yeah.
Well, there is no nice way to say fingered.
That's a shirt.
What's wrong with fingered?
I mean, it's so graphic.
But
Yeah, but you can finger a flute or like a recorder.
That
do
to me
the-
just sounds like you're sticking
know.
your finger in it.
Gavin. What about digitized? Does that work for you?
That's good.
Nice.
I got digitized.
Yeah.
What about
Redactyled.
telegrammed?
Because it's Morse code.
I guess poked is a nice way of saying it.
Just say it's the nicest way of saying it. It's not necessarily a nice way of
Yeah.
saying it.
What about indexed?
You could say,
Ooh.
Wow.
yeah, index is good. Or you taught a friend Braille. That would be a good one.
I couldn't read any of it. It was just nonsense.
You tried for like 20 minutes, though. So, but he didn't learn
Oh,
any.
all I read is G.
Good one.
Barbara, can I ask you a question? Have you ever run across a micropenis? What qualifies as micropenis? Gus, you can answer this.
Isn't it like less than
You have
2
a
inches?
laptop? What?
No, I've been very fortunate not to have.
No? Okay.
Because I don't know how I would react. And obviously, like, you never want to insult someone.
Variety?
People
It's a-
are born with what they're born with, but
Wow. It's a length of at least 2.5 standard deviations smaller than the male penis size, or smaller than about 2 3/4 inches for an adult. Okay.
Is that
2
erect?
3/4 inches. Yeah, man. The
like a half
Wikipedia
dick.
for micropenis is awesome.
Oh, yeah. You get a lot of stuff in your searches. The nice thing about being on the podcast is we're immune from, I guess, like any kind of
Glove.
HR conversations about search history.
have you ever seen Stearns? He has a micro penis contest, and it's in video format that you could find online. I don't know how I stumbled across it.
How big are we talking on that?
It was pretty hard to find.
It looked like a thumb in a bush for the most.
Thumb in a bush. I've seen this too. Some of the guys could honestly do some work with some presentation.
Only
like if they
0.
trim some stuff down,
Yeah.
could help.
Only 0.6% of the population has a true micropenis.
What
Has to
percent?
chew it?
Has
True.
a true
What percentage?
0.6%.
Oh, that's not. What? So how many Americans are there? 300. What?
We'll say
350 divide by 2
350
for
million
divide by 2 for men.
divided by 2 times 0.06. That's percent. So they got to throw a couple more O's in there. 105,000.
105,000 of the population of the U.S.
That's not
Did you
right.
divide by 2 for men?
Yeah. Divided by 2 and then 0.06%. Yep.
0.06%.
Oh, 0.06.
Yeah.
Point-
0.06.
That's like 5 Tanacons, Gus.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that seems
Fall
like
in
a
that
lot of
rabbit
people
hole?
still.
What?
Over 100,000? Seems like a lot.
Yeah, put together, it's like 2 dicks.
Wow. Look at you.
All right.
Being insensitive.
Mount.
But wouldn't it be, I mean, it'd be variety, wouldn't it? I mean, it'd be like, oh, I've never had this before.
A
So.
I feel like you
billion.
would just like rub up on it
Yeah.
because I don't know if it could go inside.
Plus, it's all like, the guy's got other stuff going on, you know? He's got like, I'm sure he's got other stuff figured out, you know?
billion
You make up for
dollars.
it.
but
It's like
you have
Daredevil.
He's probably great at poking,
Here you go.
Digitizing, you mean?
indexing.
$1 billion, but you have a tiny 1-inch penis.
$1 billion?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes. And in a second. In a
You guys
second.
also have like girlfriends and wives.
Well, I also have a tiny penis already. So that's, you just said
You know what I don't
$3
have?
billion.
$1 billion.
But what's
Yeah,
the point of
but
having
I'm
$1 billion?
If you were single,
Tiny
and-
doesn't mean non-functional.
Well, what if
If you said like shaboomp and cut it off, then I would say, okay, let's think about
what if
that.
you're a Ken doll?
Yeah. What, I can say Barbie?
What if it was an inch long, but it only curled upwards like the squirrel tooth?
Ken has such nice outfits. What? Oh, the squirrel tooth? So, wasn't that a big thing about Bill Clinton? Like that his he had an angle? Like he had a shift, like a vector?
Which way, though?
I don't know, Gav.
He hung left.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how you're looking at it, I
Well,
guess.
I mean, if you're in politics and you're going right or left, it's kind of important.
Stage left or stage right. It's like it's two different directions. So $1 billion, small penis. No, no problem.
What's the
Done.
female equivalent of that?
Done. The female equivalent of that?
Yeah.
What if
You got like you're 2 inches
gaping
shallow.
vagina?
Like you're just like shallow. Like you're shallow. You
No-
have
no
like,
depth.
No depth.
Oh,
you're like, it's like an avocado?
You'd rather have less depth than less width,
Width?
right? Because that would make things a lot more challenging if you had less width. Although little shallow depth would be hard.
What if
Yeah,
everyone?
depth is
You never hear about
way more
that.
difficult.
What if everyone knew though,
Just make it painful.
and everyone called you
it's-
tiny dicked millionaire or billionaire?
Still have $1 billion.
I would take $1 million of the dollars and I would hire permanently a little person and have him say his name is Dick. And so people say, hey, it's Tiny Dick Millionaire. It's like, yeah, here's Tiny Dick.
Did not know where that was going.
Me neither. I was like,
thought you were gonna have him hold your dick.
I was
A PR
navigating.
agency.
I was navigating a lot of vocabulary while I was saying that. So I had to make sure I
you
didn't
do
say anything that was too offensive.
$1 billion, tiny dick?
No, probably not.
You're insane. You're insane.
I would do no dick and take $1 billion.
There's
What are you
100,000
gonna
people.
do with $1 billion? What's the point?
You don't need a dick to enjoy $1 billion, dude. I don't know if you know this.
Why has every billionaire man got $1 billion? So he can use his penis.
You think
You
so?
can
But
still
most
have-
of them are super old. Like
You can still have fun with $1 billion without using your penis.
They're all sugar daddies, aren't they?
well, what about the guy who married Anna Nicole Smith? He was a billionaire, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
She probably used his dick plenty.
You think so? I hope so. I hope so. I mean, why not? It's his fucking, money. He can spend it on whatever. Not that he paid her, but he obviously, I think a big attraction for that guy was he has $1 billion fucking dollars. I mean, money isn't everything, but man, $1 billion? You could also change people's lives with that. Like, you could solve some big fucking problems.
Can't solve your no dick, though.
Yeah, okay. But small doesn't mean non-functional. I think that's what you're saying, is that,
Yeah, but what's it gonna do? It's like, and
You could like
Go
blow,
ahead.
you could like blow on it and stuff.
no, you just put it in and out. It wasn't blowing on it that fixed it.
dude, $1 billion, you get 2 ribs taken out. Problem solved. You're done.
It's like
You've got
sucking
it.
your thumb.
You got it.
Did you hear there was this
Y'all
obviously
are
is making me think about this.
insensitive. I'm putting my foot down here on this. You guys are insensitive.
All right.
There's a lot of people out there that have small dicks and they don't have $1 billion.
You want to tell
They're
your
living life just
little
fine.
Caesar joke again? There's way more than 105,000 of them.
Okay, good point. So we're even. We're even at this point.
Did you see there was that that sex robot? Was it from the UK?
Jaws?
Samantha? I guess it received an upgrade to where it can now decline sex if it's not in the mood to have sex.
Okay.
But what programs its mood?
Yeah,
I don't know yet.
Yeah, what dictates
It's like
that?
it's interesting that
Racist jokes.
dude. If I had to convince my Roomba to vacuum the way I have to convince my kids, I'd be done.
it's
You're like, come on, man.
It's a variety of reasons, including an overly aggressive partner. She also enters this mode if she feels bored with her partner's attentions.
Like if
That's
he's on his
algorithmically
phone.
determined.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Look.
who's going to use that though? When you could just get a robot that just.
Unless they're trying to get something more realistic and like actually have that human
Yeah, what is
connection.
what is the motivation for that, Gus?
I think it's just to try to give it. It's the closest word. There's no closer word. It's to give the robot the ability to give consent.
Right? Yeah.
And to demonstrate that the technology is progressing.
It's a moral development on the behalf of the machine.
Yes.
Or okay, it's not something like the consent conversation makes it more realistic.
Correct.
Okay, for the human user.
I believe so. I mean, I
Would
don't know.
you love
Conversation I think we're going to have on a more increasing basis
What,
is
when
the
they-
rights of machines.
when you can't tell if they're machines or not?
Well, just the rights of machines in general.
I mean, it's nice to teach people consent.
Yeah, it's not a
but
bad thing.
But also, I don't ever want to ask my washing machine for consent. I'm going to shove the clothes in and shove a Tide Pod in and slam the door and press go.
But you
little
could.
different.
Why is that a little different?
Because you're not shoving your dick in it.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally not.
But you turn the underwear in it and everything like that.
Just super.
It's not.
curvy.
So it's just because it's a sex thing.
Maybe like also like trying to push towards sentience.
What about a flashlight? Do I have to?
What about a vibrator? More common sex toy. That's a machine. Get to
It's not
ask
a robot,
vibrator for consent.
Please no.
Right? See, there you go. See, you don't want to deal with that.
I think it's the difference between like a machine and a robot. Like, what's the line?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Westworld, right?
a brain?
Or just like the fact that it
Awareness, self-awareness.
looks like a human.
I was holding my cat this morning, my black cat, and I was holding it. I was
Where's
looking
this
into its
conversation
eyes,
going?
and I was like, I love this little thing so much, and then I had to squeeze it because I loved it so much.
Is it Columbo or is
Columbo.
it? Okay.
Yeah. And I was like mushing her head. I was like, oh, it's a lovely cat. But then I was, because I just watched Westworld, I was like, if this wasn't a real cat, would I love it so much? And I couldn't tell.
Did you watch the season finale yesterday?
Yeah.
Bernie, you said you hadn't, right?
I haven't seen it.
And you haven't watched season 2, right?
I haven't seen any of season 2 yet. Yeah.
Okay.
It was good. That's a confusing season of television.
I felt like
timeline-wise.
I've heard a lot of.
I was very mixed
negative
on
things.
season 2. I thought it was very up and down and very uneven. I thought season 1 was really solid. I thought season 2 was very uneven. But after the conclusion of the finale last night, I thought season 2 was way better than season 1.
Oh, really?
I
Because
thought
of the last episode.
they tied up a lot of the stuff I had questions about and a lot of stuff I wasn't happy with. They addressed in a satisfying manner.
Okay, that's good.
I felt like that would have been a good season 4 because I was actually
Maybe.
more excited about like more in the park stuff, and it really was just like the park's just falling apart for the whole season. I was like, that seemed like that could have gone later, but I was still excited about the world and learning about the world, and they just were just like, we're done with that. That was season 1.
You know what would be exciting for me to get me really back into Westworld? Because I do watch it, but I'm more of a casual. Like I've got like 4 episodes I got to catch up on. to
Seeing more
finish this one.
tits?
No, it would be if they said we're coming back for season 3 and that's it. Like we're just going to do 3 seasons.
Have they even been renewed for season 3?
I don't think so. Everything I've heard about that is that is a problematic shoot every time they go to shoot that show. That it's way more expensive than they expect.
Oh, just expensive wise.
Yeah. Well, it's a
It's
lot of
outdoors.
exteriors. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
almost all exteriors.
It's cooler.
Yeah. Also, it's like I couldn't imagine what it's like. You sign up for that. It's like you're gonna be naked. You're gonna be naked. It's at
Yeah.
some point, no matter what part you have.
Ed Harris wasn't naked.
Wasn't he? Are you sure? There's no.
I don't think so.
It makes you realize how, like, kind of grossly thin a lot of people in the industry are, in the acting.
Oh, in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, really, like, frighteningly thin. But they look, I guess, average when they're in clothes and stuff because that's the way a lot of actors look.
season 3 has been confirmed, and it will be made. And I wish I had not read what I just read about it.
Oh, so really?
Yeah, so do not read about it if you're
Man,
if you're curious.
But you watched all of season 2.
Oh yeah,
And it spoils something for season 3?
potentially. I wish I didn't know what I knew now. I'll just say that.
don't ever, and I hate to say this, but don't ever like subscribe to things like Hollywood Reporter or Variety.
It was the Hollywood Reporter.
Was it? They don't care. I mean, they genuinely did. They're there to report on the industry. They do.
They'll put it in a headline.
Absolutely. Oh, it's The Walking Dead. They lived to spoil The Walking Dead. The Hollywood Reporter might be the reason I don't watch The Walking Dead anymore. Because every time there was a major death, which by the way, there's a lot on The Walking Dead, they would always say like, "Oh, this actor's leaving the show after so many seasons." They have a photo of them. It's like, well, it's The Walking
Now you
Dead,
really
so they're not just
died.
going to wander off into the woods, to go get their dry cleaning. They're probably going to get eaten by a zombie or shot by somebody, and so it ruined everything for me.
I hate having to Google around to find the best way to watch something. There's absolutely no consistency.
Oh, like to watch something online, like after it's aired? What do you mean?
Well, okay,
Like,
so
some shows are Hulu, some shows are HBO.
Handmaid's Tale,
Hulu.
The Handmaid's Tale is on Hulu.
Yeah.
And it's shot in 4K. So I was like, okay, I want to watch it in 4K. But the app on the Apple TV 4K doesn't do 4K.
Awesome.
And the only way to watch it in 4K is on an Xbox One S or X or a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Now that's annoying because you can get Hulu on everything.
And if you watch, I believe if you have the live TV tier and you watch Hulu on the PS4, you can't watch live TV in the Hulu app on the PS4.
God.
How do you?
It's like
and-
what?
And none of the 4K is HDR, even
Right.
though it's all clearly shot that way. Like, what's with these half-assed, almost there services who are just like spending money on all these shows and then airing them really shittily? Like, most people watching A Handmaid's Tale aren't going to be watching it on a Xbox One X or a PS4 Pro. I
Probably
assume.
not.
It's probably going to be normal Xbox One, Apple TV, or like a thingy or whatever.
Or the app in their TV.
Yeah, or online, or like in a browser.
Yeah.
Praise be, though, am I right?
Right.
Right. How do you guys watch Westworld?
I watch it as it airs, or
On HBO on like a cable DVR?
cable. Yeah,
So it's really shitty then. It'll be like
pretty bad.
720p.
It's pretty bad.
How do you watch it? Kev?
1080i.
1080. I watch it on Apple TV.
Okay.
HBO Go.
I watch it on HBO Now, the app on my Xbox One. And I don't know why I continue to do it because it has the worst compression for blacks
Oh yeah.
that I've ever seen. And there's so many blacks. I'm talking like
Cable is bad for that too.
yeah, black background.
Yeah.
It's like you can see like this weird like digital gradation in a black background.
Where there's like
Ugh.
7,000 different shades of black on like a UHD disc. There's like 6
What-
on streaming.
What platform did you say you watch it on? I know you said HBO Now, but on what?
on Xbox One.
Actually on HBO specifically, I switched to my Apple TV because it looks better streaming from my Apple TV than it did my
So-
Xbox One.
I don't know. Do you guys have Hulu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do it through cable HBO, right? You said? And you do it on HBO Now?
I don't know how we watch. I think I watch Hulu through my Xbox as well because that's how we watch Good Places Hulu.
I
Right?
discovered this accidentally. I canceled my HBO account because I signed up through iTunes and I didn't have like an actual login thing, so I wanted to cancel it and then resubscribe so I could watch it like on my computer and stuff.
Yeah.
I canceled it and then I was on Hulu one day and it said add HBO Now for $5 to Hulu. So instead of paying the $14.99 a month, you pay an additional $4.99
Is that
to
permanent?
Hulu.
Really?
So basically, it's just an additional.
Didn't we discover this
$5.
recently? Like someone said they bought HBO through Amazon or something, and we were so confused.
My HBO's through AT&T. It's through my phone. And setting that up sucks.
Really?
So why'd you do it that way?
Why? Just because it was free. It's free on my phone. I'm gonna go like, why would I pay for it if it's
You got
free?
free HBO through your phone?
Through my phone contract, HBO is free,
Really?
but it is not quick to go from I have this phone plan to I am watching it on my Apple TV was like 2 hours.
Too complicated?
I assume that'll be easier in the future now that they've officially acquired Time Warner Media.
Yeah.
And Time Warner owns HBO?
Yeah,
Guys, so it's just AT&T and Disney at this point, right? Is that it?
pretty much.
It's pretty much.
That's it. You got two companies you're gonna go for entertainment.
Fucking crazy bazies, man. That's nuts.
Oh yeah.
Part of the problem, Gus. How's it feel? We're part of the problem. Are we
It's weird.
are we helping fight from the inside, or is that what we're doing?
I feel like we're fairly autonomous. They're fairly hands off with everything. But I don't know. I mean, there's other factors at play, and like how does network prioritization happen and things like that. You know, things that we haven't started to see come into effect yet.
Also, it's like I feel like you spend your whole life fighting that stuff, and ultimately nobody cares. Like one of the things that always bugs me is spent so long talking about net neutrality, and now net neutrality is essentially at this moment gone. It'll probably come back. I have a feeling with the midterm elections and the follow-up elections, we're gonna have a fucking huge pendulum swing back. I feel it. I think we're just in this mode now. We're just gonna swing back and forth, and it's gonna get more and more severe. And I just don't know. It's not gonna be great. But there are some good things that'll come about, and I think net neutrality will be one of those things that makes its way back. But it's like it's interesting because people will fight about like net neutrality. But while I'm sitting here and I'm hearing you talk about, oh, I get free HBO with my AT&T. Another example of that is if you have a T-Mobile phone, you get Netflix. It doesn't count against your data cap.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's so badass that T-Mobile does that. It's like, no, that's exactly the opposite of net neutrality. It's cheaper for you to use Netflix than it is for you to use any of their competitors.
And I've seen some people who are very vocal about net neutrality also post on social media like about how great that deal is. And like, you realize that is in clear violation of net neutrality.
Right. That's not even delivery of the same packets or different packets in the same way, you know? And it's just like, and people don't, but then ultimately, it just comes down to people like, well, I get it for free, so I don't care, you know? Which I think is like, honestly, I'm one of the only still holdouts of Fortnite pivoting their whole game into Battle Royale. That still bothers me to this day, but it doesn't bother anybody else. You know,
nobody thinks about it.
Totally fine with it. And it's because the game is free and it's on PS4. And so they're like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. As long as I can play a Battle Royale game, I'm good. I don't give a shit. You think Fortnite's falling off at all? Or is it still?
I don't think so.
It seems like it's still going really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, people were, I think they got a bump from the PS4 controversy about the crossplay, lack of crossplay.
Did PS4 ever do anything about that?
Switch
No.
and stuff?
Yeah, you can crossplay PC and Switch, but you can't. If you signed up with your account on a PlayStation, you can't go the other way.
I was thinking this the other day when I was reading up on some of the E3 stuff. And all the companies have their different time, like press conferences at different times throughout E3. And I was just thinking, if Valve just came out and just said Half-Life 3 after any of these, no one would give a shit about anything else at E3.
Yeah.
Like they could win E3
It's the ultimate trump card.
whenever they want.
I just think
with any 3 game that they make.
I always felt like Valve had this crazy long-term strategy.
For Half-Life 3?
Half-Life 3, Left 4 Dead 3,
Portal 3.
Team Fortress
Portal,
3,
please,
Portal 3. They were all going to come out. And maybe they'd have their own platform. But this is back when they were talking about the Steam box and the Steam controller, which both turned out to be awful.
Well, Steambox wasn't that bad. Oh, wait, what am I thinking of?
Steambox was the PCs that
Yeah.
they made.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Steam.
Did those not go
No,
very
Steam
far?
Link was actually
No, getting over
You
Steam
can
Link
stream
was
to the
good.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just at this point I don't have any faith that anything like that is taking place. Like I remember
Well, they straight up said we're not making Half-Life 3. They're like, we had the story and it wasn't very good.
really
Maybe that's just a fake out.
I think it was pretty real. I think it was like people who'd left Valve were like, yeah, we just couldn't come up with anything that was better than the last one, and we didn't want to make something worse, so we just didn't make it.
like we spent a lot of time in the video game industry. I've never run across anybody who's working on any of those games.
Yeah.
Like that would come up at some point, right?
Well, they probably are under like a huge, intense NDA about
But
it.
we're
I would imagine, but I mean, it's like you can only keep stuff bottled up for so. I mean, they did leak the entire code for Half-Life 2 at one point.
well, not the entire code.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
It was the source code that they had at the time, and then they restarted the game.
Yeah.
because everything got leaked out because of that. But yeah, I don't have faith. I don't think it's coming. And I would love Left 4 Dead 3. I would love that.
That'd be great.
Gus, you got all pissy on Twitter at a guy. There was some announcement made about a shooter that was in the World War Z universe.
Yes. He said that we must have missed it because I was giggling during the announcement. And I said, well, which announcement was? They said, oh, well, it wasn't actually announced. I get mad because we have to do so much coverage that people pick apart what we're doing and think we're not paying attention. If it had come across, we would have noticed it. So I get mad when someone makes the claim that I was giggling and not paying attention and doing my job. So yeah, I get mad about that.
I think you were doing your job.
I was doing my job.
I don't
But
know
I
if
felt
you
a little
were.
guilty about it because the guy did have nice in his username, and I got mad at him. But anyway, I want to read this thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Hims. 66% of men start losing their hair by age 35, and that's 2 out of 3 men on the planet. The math adds up. And I don't understand why we turn to weird concoctions or gimmicks. You know, I love facts and science. If you have this problem, check out forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Hims provides medical-grade solutions, real doctors who offer quality, generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair where it belongs. There's no waiting room and no awkward doctor visits. Save time and your hair by going to forhims.com. It's all pretty easy. You'll answer a few quick questions online, then doctors will review your information and prescribe a solution for you. I've talked about how easy it is, how great a service it is, and I know we have other people here who've also tried it out as well. Everyone has great things to say. You can order now. Our viewers get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today. Right now, while supplies last, you can see the website for full details. This would cost you hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy. It's so easy to use Hims. Go to forhims.com/rooster. That's forhims.com/rooster. Forhims.com/rooster. Thanks for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Oh God!
Bernie just invented a s'more that looks edible.
You should look at his smile.
No,
You
it's good.
fucking
I cleaned it. I cleaned it.
Damn
You
you!
got to show the
What was it?
people
What's going on over there? I
You
couldn't
got to
see.
show the people what you did.
Took the hot fudge. I dipped a spoon in it.
Well, we need a demo,
All right.
and then you got to eat it.
Well, is anyone else going to eat this? Because I need a clean spoon. Give me another spoon. Please. I barked orders. So, Gus, let me ask you a question here.
Ask me away.
I got 2 teenage boys.
I was a
jackasses.
teenage boy once.
They're jackasses by default.
Yeah.
So one of the jobs they have is they have to bring up the garbage cans.
So you're talking after trash day and bring it up from the curb back
That's
to
it.
the house.
You see the can down there, bring the can up. So sometimes it'll get to like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, hey, did you bring the garbage cans up? And Jay's like, oh, no, we didn't. I said, go grab the cans. And then Ashley always does this thing. She's nearby. She goes, please. And I go, okay, please. But I don't say please.
No.
They're fucking chores,
No,
right?
right.
I mean,
No one ever said please to me.
No.
Common
No,
courtesy.
that's a please.
Please?
If you're interrupting someone to go and do someone else for you.
No.
then that's please.
They should have. It's their job.
It's their job.
Well, then you say it sternly, of like, can you do that, please?
Please go pick this up.
Gavin, can you please be on a podcast? I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I never say that.
Okay, here's what I'm doing. I got my pot
It's like,
fudge.
hey, you want to be on a podcast?
And I'm gonna get this jar of cookie smush.
That's
you're not
different.
telling me to be on the podcast.
You're
like,
asking.
Look at
oh,
that.
yeah, look at
Little
that.
treat. Want a bite, Gav?
No, that looks a bit too rich.
So you show us your smile? Oh, that looks great.
Delicious.
So I feel like we should
Oh
mention.
my gosh, so much sugar, dude.
Yeah. We have the Pridecast tomorrow at 5 p.m. Which is going on, and you don't have to be a first member to watch that live stream. Normally, you do have to be a first member to watch streams live. Oh, look, you got a graphic and everything. Live for free tomorrow, June 26th at 5 p.m. roosterteeth.com. Are we doing that? And yet, we're directing everyone to roosterteeth.com. Right there.
And donations, I believe, go to the Trevor Project,
Yes.
which is an awesome cause.
So check it out.
Yes.
If you're a first member or not, you can see what a live stream's like. You can interact with people on screen.
Did you get the new bin?
What does that mean? The new bin.
You got chocolate.
It's for later.
The third bin?
Where is it?
There you go.
Third bin is like another trash can.
Yeah.
Almost.
Oh, I don't know what that's about. Did you get a third bin?
Third bin.
Yeah.
So I have one bin that's brown. That's for trash. They have one bin that's blue, and that is for recyclables. But
Brand
not
new
pizza
bin.
boxes.
Brand new bin showed up, and it's now the exact same way that it's been in England for like 12 years or something. But now there's a food bin.
Like a compost.
Oh, the
bin.
compost bin.
Compost.
Is it green?
Dude, I would love that. I would love that. I feel awful whenever I have to throw away food.
My parents compost literally
Fucking
everything that is allowed to be composted.
Your parents are good people.
Kleenex and everything that is allowed to be put in the compost.
Kleenex.
Yeah.
Really? So, do they have a composter or they have a special bin that's compost?
It's a special bin that's just compost.
Yeah, and then it goes to a central composting facility. I don't know how I feel about like 3 bins. You know, I know
bins.
it's a better management of waste.
One's a has been.
Nice,
Aren't they all?
nice.
Get the okay.
All right, you're good. All right, she's good. They only do that in some parts of Austin, right? I think they're still.
I don't
rolling-
have one.
They're still rolling that out. The composting. That was not intended that way.
This is the most smug laugh I've ever heard you do. yeah.
What would the fourth bin be for if they were to
Poop.
bring one
People,
out? People bin.
shrubs.
Dead pets.
You can put shrubs in composting.
They have the
No, yeah,
special
gardening waste wouldn't.
gardening waste.
Yeah.
Where do you
Yeah.
put it now? Just in the regular trash?
Gotta get these bags at the
Oh, yeah.
hardware store.
So
put it out.
beginning today, they do curbside composting to half. So half of Austin has it at this point.
Here's the problem in Austin, and I'm wondering if other municipalities have this exact same problem that we do. Austin put out this fucking study that the citizens of Austin only recycle about 50% of what they should be recycling. But our fucking recycling only gets picked up every 2 weeks. So
It's stupid.
just move it to every week. I would have a full bin.
Yeah,
every
maybe
week.
then
why
the
don't
other
they do it every
50%
week?
would show
I
up.
don't know, Gus. They make money from the blue one. They don't make any money from the other one.
Do you guys have here the 2 different types of recycling?
No, it's single stream.
Okay, because I mean, back home in Canada, we had in Ottawa, 1 week was like cans and bottles, and the other one was paper and.
Oh, dude, you got to separate your trash
No,
for
no.
a week. Where do you keep it.
I would love a service.
Separate your recycling.
To cut down all this shit, I would love a service where every Amazon delivery, the delivery person just tears that shit out of the box and dumps it on the front porch and keeps the box.
It's hassle free.
I don't want a bit. It's just cardboard. Even if they did it that way, every other week, I would still have mounds of cardboard.
I saw an Amazon delivery
Just go to
driver.
a store
I was
and
driving around over the weekend, and we're going in opposite directions, and he was driving one of those white vans
Yeah.
that they have for like Amazon deliveries, not a UPS, not anyone else. It's like the Amazon logistics, and that driver's dashboard and car was just filled with packages. I was like, there's no way that can be safe, or there's no way that that's organized. It was like the Prime packages and those yellow packages. And it's like, I could barely see the guy. It looked like a hoarder's car that was filled with shit. And I was like, how is that safe? 2, how is he finding anything? 3, how is it all not broken? It looked like a fucking nightmare.
Listen, dude, you can look up Amazon and work conditions at the company. I've been reading a lot about it because of Austin being one of the finalists for the headquarters, the new headquarters for Amazon. It's pretty nuts. Like, there's stories about people in some of those distribution centers where they're pissing in bottles.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Because they don't have time to piss in
Yep.
a toilet.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Yeah. So they just like to keep up with their quota and their numbers, all those metrics they have, they just have to like not leave the floor. So they just piss in a bottle.
How
Which, by the way, that's going to be replaced by a robot probably in the next 2 or 3 years.
do you
You
think?
mean robots are going to piss in bottles?
No, you're gonna piss in a robot, dude. What are you, stupid?
What do you
Robot's gonna come to your front porch and open your boxes for you.
like legitimately, what do you think the chances are of Amazon coming to Austin?
I don't know who the other candidates are, honestly.
Like,
I don't think it's great.
I don't know that we
for
want it.
I don't know if I would want it.
I don't think it's a
I
good
think
chance either.
Austin's already overcrowded.
I mean, that would mean I can have cardboard sooner.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so the economy is so weird because I constantly see advertisements for job vacancies places at like maybe I'm crazy, but I mean they seem like phenomenal starting rates. Like some places are like $15, $18 an hour
For what? What?
like starting jobs.
Oh,
in
just anywhere?
places.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Like,
job do you think won't be replaced by a robot in the future?
I think all jobs
robot maker,
could eventually
no?
be replaced. Robot maker? No. That's like
Yeah,
it's like every future sci-fi horror movie.
They start making themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. President. I mean, probably. We have our first robot president.
Well, the robots will need a president of their own.
Would they?
Who's in charge of the robots?
The president.
Yeah. The actual president.
I guess
Robot
there's no,
president. I
there's
can't
no,
even
king
imagine that. Like it.
Cat in charge of all
As
the
a
cats.
dog president? That'd be so great.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says a dog can't be president.
What would a dog's campaign slogan be? Like, what would it campaign on?
woof, woof, woof,
Yeah.
woof, woof.
Free bones.
Leash laws would be huge, like, political debate inside of the dog culture, I think. Like, the leash laws are inappropriate. Oh, it's terrible.
They're inhumane.
Why are people working on consent for animals before consent for robots?
Go on.
Go ahead. No, I was actually thinking about bringing up animals during the consent for robots thing.
I'm talking about bestiality.
There's no such thing as a...
No!
Well, what are you talking? You're talking about the robot thing.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about, like, should an animal get consent from another animal?
How would you enforce that, Gavin? Exactly.
I don't know, train animals, train pets to be like, yes, I would like to be railed.
Okay.
I can't.
No.
Like, what if you have two cats
I can't.
and one of them's getting done in every night?
Then the other one fucking claws the first cat.
Or runs away.
I mean, teach that before you stop, have to sign an agreement for a robot.
The layers that we have of civility that make us a civilization is the limitations of some freedoms, that the animal kingdom doesn't have. Like, if you were an animal, you can kill basically whatever you want to. Like, I've thought about this squirrel. If Joe was still alive, that squirrel would be dead already. Because Joe would just be like, I'm going to fucking kill this thing. But it's the limitation of those freedoms and things like that you're living with other people. And you have respect for their existence and their
Some
experience.
people can do that.
What's that?
Some people.
Yeah, they're criminals.
No, it's in like tribes and stuff. It's like, that guy sucks, I'm going to kill him.
Right.
Not criminal.
Well, they're not civilized either.
So,
I mean, I would say that if a tribe is like they're killing people, I would say that's a lack of civilization.
Or they just had a prick.
Oh, you mean they voted to kill a guy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we have death penalty, which that's a
People
whole
don't-
other can of worms.
Don't
But
vote on that.
people don't vote on it. No. It's kind of like one of those weird things where it's like it waters that down amongst us all, right? Like this guy died because everybody agreed that he did something that was bad.
I
enough.
guess technically a jury is voting on it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Have you ever had, similar to like a handmaid style thing, have you ever in your lifetime had a law just land and then the next day your life was different?
Let me think about that.
Even in a small way.
FCC ruled that we had to disclose anytime we took money for anything in a very specific way for internet stuff. And I still think to this day, the amount of effort that we have to go through as online communities, the amount of effort that we have to go through to disclose ads is way more egregious than what other, like if there's a product placement in a movie, it's buried in the credits at the end. They don't stop the fucking movie in the middle of the movie and say, hey, Coke gave us this. I just want to be clear, everybody, Coke gave us this thing.
You
So
don't see a hashtag in the opening to a Bond movie.
you don't see
where
that stuff.
Aston Martin's all
Hashtag
over it.
ad.
And I do think you should be honest about taking that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we should at the very least be able to do it. But that's something that changed. It was like now all of a sudden you put like hashtag ad. You couldn't put promotional consideration by so-and-so at the end of the program like you can on TV. Now we have to put it like right there.
You have to say it.
descriptions, everything.
Yep.
So that's something that's different.
Is there anything to do with the age gate of some movies?
Age gate?
Or in that, like, an
Rating?
R-rated movie, you probably won't have 5-year-olds you're advertising to in that. But online, anyone can see it.
You think it's a kid thing?
Maybe. You've got to be really careful with advertising to kids.
No, I agree with that. But there's other rules for that called COPA.
Cabana?
Children's Online Protection Act. It's a big deal, especially if you have like communities or places where people make accounts, like Club Penguin. There's all these special rules you have to have. That's why a lot of cutoffs are a certain age for a lot of different sites.
Fair play.
All right. Speaking
What
of
about you? Any rules? Any laws? Any laws that came out of nowhere?
I think the one that maybe had the biggest effect on me, it's kind of a trivial thing, was the plastic bag ban in Austin. Where it's like all of a sudden one day you couldn't get plastic bags
Got
anymore.
overturned? See that?
Yeah, the Texas courts have overturned that. But that wasn't, I mean, it was just like, oh, okay, I got to carry bags now. That was the most jarring thing. It's like, oh, this is the way I've done things for years in my life. I have to do it a little different now.
I don't miss those little bags.
I don't miss them at all. I hope that retailers don't bring them back, even though it's not enforceable by law now. Apparently,
Yeah.
I hope we maintain that. I will
Who's
keep
fighting for that?
I will keep oil industry.
Is it?
I'm sure,
But don't they make the big
it's all
plastic bags?
petroleum-based products.
God,
I'll keep using my reusable bags. I'm fine with it. I like them more.
how much money does a person need?
I guess the day Uber went away was kind of jarring, but that wasn't really a law. That was just Uber was just like
Uber made a decision. Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
It was based on a law, though. They did pull out because
they
of
didn't
the.
have to leave that day.
That was
They
right
didn't
around,
have to that day, but they were going to leave.
That was right around South by Southwest, wasn't it?
Or they could have just followed
No,
the law. I guess.
it was in before that.
It was before,
Yeah, but it was South by was affected.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of ending things, let's end this. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to go buy your ticket for RT Podcast 500.
Sucked when they made fraud illegal. That sucked.
Bye.
Knuckle.